Washington mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. At AM 630. WMAL.
7:37 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. I'm Brian Wilson. He's Brian Neiman. And one of my favorite guests is on the line. He is Stuart Varney from your Fox Business Network. Stuart, how are you?
I'm well, Brian. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Okay, look, the last couple of days I've noticed, I watch these things far too closely. I don't know why. I'm a little obsessed watching the stock market, and it's been pretty good. We've had a few good days here. What's going on?
Oh, the stock market expects that either the Europeans are going to print a whole bunch of new money, or the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, is going to print a whole bunch of new money. That's what they're expecting. They may well get it. I'm no forecaster of that kind of thing, but that's what they're expecting, and that's why stocks have gone up over the past week and a half.
And is that another bullet or left in the chamber for the Federal Reserve to actually go out and print more money when this would be QE3?
Well,
what we call
right,
it?
That's the key question, isn't it? We're going to find out at around 12 noon, 12:15 Eastern Time today what the Fed is going to do about America's weakening economy. But a lot of people are asking, well, what on earth can it do? It's already driven interest rates down to historic lows. Mm-hmm. It's already printed up a ton of money, and it hasn't worked. If they do more of the same, what's that going to do for America? So that's the question. What are they going to do? And whatever it is that they do, will it work? It's kind of an interesting situation here, because the suspicion is that all the tools in the toolbox which have been employed in the past just haven't worked. And so what are you going to do in the future? Because we really are in a mess.
All right, so as we look at what's going on in the Eurozone, I mean, it seems like every day it is up, it's down. Some days we feel good about the situation. Some days we are dreadfully, pessimistic about the situation. We got Greece, we got Italy, we got Spain, we got Portugal. What's your assessment of where it goes next?
I'm sick and tired of it.
Well, so am I, really. I mean,
I've got to present to our viewers day in, day out the latest minuscule movement in Europe, and it's always in the same direction. They're going to hell in a handbasket, and I don't see any salvation for them. I expect that at some point they will print up a lot of money, and that will handle things for a brief period of time. But really, I think the euro is finished. If you're asking me what is the end game, the answer is the euro is finished. It will retreat into a hard core of, say, the Netherlands, Germany, maybe a couple of others, maybe France, and everybody else is out and goes back to their own currencies. And that means there is going to be one awful crash in those places which go out of the euro. But I think it's going to come.
The thing that bothers me about this is if we were smart in America, we'd be looking very closely at what's going on in Europe, and we would say, there, but for the grace of God, go we. And we need to be making the changes. But yet there still does not seem to be the will on Capitol Hill to start addressing these issues.
I give you the example of yesterday in the United States Senate, where two attempts to just impose minor reforms on food stamps went down to defeat. Now, if you can't rein in a program like food stamps, how on earth can you ever rein in Medicare, Medicaid, and maybe even Social Security, which are leading us into a mountain of debt? I mean, that was not a hopeful signal yesterday. Food stamps were $770 billion program over 10 years. The proposal was to trim maybe $20 billion. Went down to defeat. You couldn't even trim that from a program like food stamps. What hope is there for the future? We are going down the European road, Brian. I'm telling you, we are.
All right, well, the European Commission President, Jose Manuel Barroso, said the problem with Europe right now is the United States. I don't know if you heard the soundbite yesterday from the G20 summit. I'll play it for the audience. Here's what he said. It's America's fault.
By the way, this crisis was not originated in Europe. Since you mentioned North America, this crisis was originated in North America. And many of our financial sector were contaminated by, how can I put it, unorthodox practice from some sectors of the financial market.
We were contaminated.
Is it our fault that Greece is in so much debt, that Spain and Portugal and Italy have so much debt on their books?
Of course not. That gentleman is dead wrong, and he's desperate. That's what's happening here. No, what went wrong in Europe is decades of cradle-to-grave security, which they could not pay for, very low rates of economic growth, and just general sluggishness of state-sponsored socialism. That's what went wrong. They ran out of other people's money. That's what happened to them, and now they're trying to blame America. It won't wash, won't work, and we should take a lesson from them.
Why is it that, what does Germany get out of propping up Greece? I mean, why are they so concerned about it? I mean, it seems like, are they worried because if Greece falls, then the dominoes will fall? I mean, why not just say, you know what, the hell with it, you guys can go your own way?
Go have your drachmas.
Yeah, it is a domino problem. If Greece goes, maybe Spain goes. If Spain goes, maybe Italy goes. And we really don't know what liabilities European and American banks have, because there's all these private insurance contracts between banks and governments, and we don't know what's in them. So we don't know really what are the liabilities of the banks and the financial institutions which hold all of this debt. And if the dominoes start to fall, those liabilities will be exposed, and maybe we've got ourselves a huge financial crisis on our hands. The Germans don't want that. At the same time, German voters do not wish to pay for Greek hairdressers to retire at 50 because they've been working with nasty chemicals on a full pension. You know, why should they?
Isn't it rich that it's Germany versus Greece in the soccer Final 8 now?
Oh, you want to talk soccer? Did you see that disputed goal scored by the Ukrainians against England yesterday?
I did, and you know what? I don't blame the referee who missed that, because I saw the replay probably for 15 minutes looking at it, and they, freeze-framed it. I couldn't tell. I mean, and not until I saw a picture this morning where you could see a little bit of daylight between the line and the ball that I say, okay, what's a goal?
The rule is that the whole of the ball has to cross the line.
Cross the line.
If soccer would get into the 21st century and start using technology to make some of these calls, as sport does elsewhere, maybe we wouldn't have these disputes. But I think the Ukrainians were robbed of that goal.
Yeah, but he was offside anyway.
Well, absolutely right, of course. I'm an English fan.
All right, Stuart, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for